Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the official Nerd Talk channel. My name is Tyler, aka Mind of a Nerd, joined by my co-host AJ Reacts to. We are back for another episode of Nerd Talk. We are on episode 107, and we are here tonight to talk about one of our most anticipated movies of the year, Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire, in full spoiler details. We are also going to be covering a couple news topics from earlier in the week. AJ, what is going on?
What's up, man? I had a pretty chill day, and I'm ready for nerd talk, bro.
Yeah, the weather in New York was absolutely atrocious today. It
Raining?
was a hurricane, basically, beyond belief.
Mm,
And I was not gonna go to work, but I changed my mind and ended up going to work. Coming home was not fun at all. So,
mm.
but I got to relax after a terrible commute home, and we're gonna get into all the goodness that was Godzilla X Kong. But first, we are going to get into a couple of news topics released. Well, one of this was released today. Starting off with a new Matrix movie has been announced and is in active development. So it was announced today that the writer and director of the Bad
Okay.
Times at the El Royale, but I don't know if he wrote Cabin in the Woods. He directed Cabin in the Woods.
I think
I
he
don't
wrote. I
know.
think he wrote as well.
He,
I was
then
looking at his credits.
he probably co-wrote it with Joss Whedon, and he also wrote Cloverfield. But the main one that stood out to me was Bad Times at the El Royale. I was like, oh, because I dug that movie. I really liked it. He will be helming a new Matrix film produced by Lana Wachowski. So this is going to be the first entry in this franchise not helmed by a Wachowski or Wachowskis. Um so my thoughts on this is and for those that
Real,
don't know,
real quick
go
before you
ahead.
get into it, I just realized that I didn't realize this before, but Drew Goddard created the Daredevil Netflix series as well.
Yes, he
I
did. I
didn't
saw that.
realize that. I was like, wow. Okay, now go ahead. What you're gonna say?
um the Matrix as a franchise is a franchise that to me has never reached its full potential. I thought when I first saw the Matrix for the first time, and I'll be seeing it in the theater tomorrow, which is awesome. um when that movie ended, I was like, oh man, there's so many possibilities, because he literally says, oh, if anyone wants to mess with our world, we'll take them on. Basically, then that's how that movie ends. And he flies into the air. We get Rage Against the Machine, one of the greatest endings ever. I was like, oh man, there's so much potential. Reloaded and Revolutions, I respect for their ambitiousness, especially Reloaded. I'm not big on Reloaded. It has a great action sequence in the middle of it. The highway chase, and also the fight in the is it a museum or something like that. That entire action sequence is great. I even like the alleyway fight until it gets into PS1 CGI, but anyway. I enjoy aspects of that movie, but I think it tries a little too hard to be like philosophical, and that's just me. Revolutions, I think, is dumb. Like, it's dumb fun, but the action in it to me is really cool. Like, the battle for Zion to me is awesome, and I love the Age of Smith and Neo fight at the end. Again, it's really silly, and it's like basically Man of Steel before Man of Steel, but I really like Revolutions for what it was. And then Matrix Resurrections, I thought, was one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. I thought it was just a mess. It was a tonal mess. It was a script mess. It didn't know what it wanted to be. It, like, the first like hour or so of it is trying something different, and then on a dime, it's just like, no, it's regular generic Matrix nonsense. You know, I thought the action in it was terrible. The bullet time was so bad. And I thought the acting was very bland from Keanu Reeves and Carrie Ann Moss, but Carrie Ann Moss was the standout among the two of them. Um, And I thought that the one that was the new Smith, I thought he was okay for what he was. So the announcement of them doing a new Matrix movie, it kind of didn't phase me. I was like, to be honest, it actually surprised me considering the reaction that Matrix Resurrections got. Now I know Matrix Resurrections has its fans. Like I said, I'm not one of them, but I honestly didn't, and that movie didn't really make money. Now it was coming off the pandemic, but still, I mean, No Way Home came out that same month, and look how much that made. And some might say, "Oh, it's the Matrix and Marvel, bro." It is the Matrix, bro. They should have had butts in the seats, you know, especially since you had Carrie Moss and Keanu Reeves back. But that movie did not make nearly as much money as they probably had thought it was gonna make. You know, so them announcing a new Matrix sequel is interesting to me. Um, it's even more interesting that they announced a whole new director and a writer. That I think excites me the most because it's like, oh, finally a new vision for this franchise. That's kind of how I feel with Alien. I think Alex even said in his trailer reaction, he was like, "Yeah, if Ridley Scott is going to be involved in this, just have him be a producer." And for all we know, it's just like when Steven Spielberg puts his name on the Transformers movies. It's like, yeah, I'm an executive producer of Transformers. Um, so that excites me. The fact that it's a whole new director. I not going to be really excited until they announce it's all new characters and it's an all new story because I wasn't even big on that idea when they announced that for Resurrections that Neo and Trinity were coming back. I was like, that is the dumbest idea you could possibly do. This world and franchise has so much potential, and that's shown in the Animatrix. The Animatrix, the shorts aren't amazing, but you look at them and you're like, man, that would make sense. There was one, I forgot which one it was. I was like, yo, that would be such a cool like 90-minute Matrix movie. It's a nice little set of shorts and it's interesting. But this world to me has so much potential. They could literally do anything. And I really want to see somebody go in and do something like that. So I would even take a Denis Villeneuve Matrix movie. I think that would be dope. Imagine those visuals. Um, so does this really upset me or excite me? No, I guess it makes me more curious than anything that they're greenlight again. It's just the fact that they're greenlighting another Matrix movie. It's like, now we're gonna try this again. I really, really hope they take advantage of them having a whole new director and a writer and just make it fresh. Make it fresh. Give us all new characters and show us a side to the Matrix we've never seen before. That's all I want. If they make this and it's not good, I'm done with the Matrix. You know, I'm kind of just I'm over it now. But if they really do make this like fresh and vibrant and it's not good, it's like, well, now you've officially lost me. Um, AJ, what are your thoughts on this?
I don't know how well my Wi-Fi is doing right now. I don't know if I'm lagging out or whatever. 'Cause I'm getting the Wi-Fi symbol, so bear with me. But Yeah. So I guess as far as my history with the Matrix franchise, I had never seen a Matrix movie until my adult years, only a few years ago. So I don't have as much like nostalgia for the franchise, but I do really like the films, even two and three. I really like the first one a lot, and two and three have a special place in my heart. Some of it is dumb, some of it is just fun, but the those first three have a special place in my heart. Now, when Resurrections came out, I was very indifferent about it. I didn't really like it very much, but there were things I could appreciate about it. Um, and then I gave it some more rewatches, and I still pretty much feel the same. I'm kind of torn on it. It's not a good movie. I've come to the conclusion that it's not a good movie, but there are things to admire. Now, when we got this announcement today, about Matrix 5 coming out, I was shocked. Um, Definitely, because I just didn't think that people really, received the fourth one very well. But like you said, they're coming in with a new director and writer. I'm glad that it's going to be the same person, writing and directing, so they can flesh out their own vision. That's what I pretty much like about a lot of different movies. I don't really love when other people write the film, the screenplay, and then somebody else directs, because sometimes there's disconnect on the vision. This here, it has potential to be great. What you said about it being like kind of a revamp, reboot, that could be interesting. But if they do decide to bring Neo and Trinity back for whatever reason, um just go in a different direction than you did in the fourth one, because that did not work. That did not work whatsoever. So new direction, give us fresh and new ideas, even if you have the same characters. Go in a different direction, but preferably new characters, new scenery, new areas of the matrix, new terminologies and things like that. That's gonna would be interesting, the most interesting thing about this franchise, if they decide to go that way.
Yeah.
But yeah,
If it,
I don't have like really any true feelings about this announcement. I want to see something from it. I want to see trailer, poster. I want to see something from it before I start getting, worried, or really excited or anything. So this news was
yeah.
just like, okay, they're making a new one.
If they do Neo and Trinity again, I want the like I want to see a whole new villain again, like a whole new villain, like a whole maybe it's like a different type of program in the Matrix or something. I don't know how you're
Mhm.
gonna get more powerful than Smith in Revolutions, where this man literally owned the entire Matrix. But I'm sure they could do something. But again, it just it bums me out because of how much potential you know this franchise has, and I know it has potential, and I don't know. We will see. If you guys have any thoughts on a new Matrix movie releasing, let us know down below how you feel about the franchise. Did you actually like Resurrections? I know some of you geeks are out there that like Resurrections. Let me know down below. Moving on to our next topic, the Final Destination Bloodlines cast has been announced. So let me get this. Let me get this right here. Let me get this.
I'm gonna dip out for a second and I'll be right back. Try to get
hmm
this Wi-Fi under control.
So, okay, so we can see this. Yes, we can see this. You can barely see me, but that's okay. So, for those who don't know, Final Destination Bloodlines is the sixth Final Destination movie. They feel like they've been working on this for so long, and it's finally coming out. And I just wanted to touch on the cast real quick because it's kind of exciting. So, obviously, Tony Todd will be back. Well, I hope Tony Todd is back because he's kind of a staple of this franchise, even though he only really like cameos. But we got Breck Basinger. I hope I pronounced her name right. She was in Stargirl. That's the main thing I know her from. And then we have Tio Briones, who was in the Chucky show. He played one of the kids that got kind of like corrupted by Chucky. Spoiler alert. Um, and a lot of these people I don't really know. So let's dive in. Richard Harmon. It says he was in the 100. He was in the Flash. Oh, he Captain Boomerang. I didn't know Captain Boomerang was in the Flash. Okay, I guess he was in the Flash. Um, then we got Riot. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce her name. Shh. Um, not seeing. Oh, she was the. Oh, okay. She's the fourth sister in Obi-Wan. Okay. Let's see who else. Max Lloyd Jones. His name sounds familiar. He's mostly a stunt guy. That's what it looks like here. Um, and a lore. Oh boy, they slash them. What a picture. She was in Doom Patrol. I mean that's here. Let's do one more. And then I'll start talking about the movie. Oh, she was in the Flash too. All right. So, my thoughts on this. Stop it. My thoughts on this movie. It Final Destination. I like Final Destination a lot. I enjoy them all pretty much. I went through them last October, and I really enjoyed myself. Really loved the first three. Oh wait, whoa, scratch that. The second and third one, I love those movies. Those are my shit. The first movie is fine. There are some fun kills, but it's fine. I love the premise. The fourth one is atrocious, but it is such a guilty pleasure. I enjoy watching it. It's not a good movie at all. And then the fifth movie, a lot of people say that's the best movie, man, and I can't relate. I've never related to that argument. I've never related to that argument. I think the movie is very fine, but that movie is hindered by CGI kills, and that's a shame. And that kind of ruins the fun of Final Destination. Um, I don't know, but in terms of this new one, they've been working on it for a while. We've heard so many rumors. I think at one point the rumor was that they were gonna do like paramedics and EMTs and cops. That was gonna be the running theme. I don't know if that's still true. I wonder what that Bloodlines subtitle means. That's a interesting little subtitle. You know, we don't know what that means. Maybe it's like a family thing. For all we know, these could be the kids of some character in the franchise. But I'm I'm interested. You know, I just really hope that they don't go CGI with the kills. They probably will, but I hope that they don't because practical effects are always better in film, no matter what. Like that is a common, thing. Especially in the second one. The second one, dude, the part the part in the beginning where the cop is driving on the highway, which is the best opening action part in the Final Destination series, by the way. The part where the lot comes to the windshield and busts that dude's head open, amazing. The way they did that practical effect was nuts. I was hoping AJ would be back by now, so he could give his thoughts on this. We will probably just wait for him and we'll ask him when he comes back. But like I said, my thoughts. I'm interested in this movie. You know, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for a new Final Destination movie, and I'm sure Final Destination in the theater. That's gonna be nuts. I haven't seen any of them. So if you guys are excited for Final Destination 6, titled Bloodlines, let us know down below how you feel about the franchise. Which one is your favorite? Which one is your least favorite? Any hot takes? Let us know down below. Moving on to the next news topic before our big main event topic. We have the first poster for Joker Folie à Deux. I probably said that so wrong, but I tried. E for effort, am I right? So let me get this up right here. Hopefully you guys can see it. Yes, you can. So we have the first poster for Joker 2. This is the long-awaited sequel for Joker. I'm very excited for this movie. The first Joker was amazing. It was one of my favorite movies of 2019. It's one of my favorite DC movies. One of my favorite comic book movies. It's actually a major surprise because when they had announced that, it was very weird because they were like, "Yeah, we're doing a Joker solo movie directed by the guy who did The Hangover." So I was like, okay, sure, if you say so. And then they released like the test footage for Joaquin Phoenix in the makeup, and I was like, "Yo, that's kind of nuts." And we started seeing the trailers. We were like, "Yo, this is gonna be like a Martin Scorsese movie. Like that's what it looks like. It looks like a crime drama in the DCEU, which we hadn't really seen something like that since the Dark Knight trilogy. Like it was really cool." And when we saw it, it was honestly like kind of polarizing. Like I remember a lot of people being like, "Oh, the kids are gonna take this the wrong way and they're gonna cause mayhem and violence." I was like, "Oh my god, people, give me a break with this. It's a movie." As for me, I really enjoyed it. I saw it twice in the theaters. I have not watched it in a while. I need to, since I got it, I'll show it right here. I need to give this 4K another watch. Um, but as for my thoughts on this poster, I absolutely adore it. I think it is a fantastic looking poster. And for those who don't know, Joker 2 is going to be a musical. Lady Gaga will be playing Harley Quinn, which that is a very bold choice, but it's something that I'm very interested in. So let's get in deep into this poster here. Oh, that's a little, okay, we'll make it work. So it says Joaquin Phoenix, Lady Gaga. It says the title here. I like the way it's woven into the Joker title card. Um, it said the tagline says the world is a stage, and the release date is October 4th, 2024. I personally, if it was me, I would have made the tagline the world is our stage, because it kind of hones in on the craziness of Joker and Harley Quinn, and I think that would have been really cool. Um but that's just me. I still like the tagline a lot. So let's go back in here, and we see. I didn't even notice this until right now. It looks like they're in a wedding getup. That's what it looks like anyway. You see Harley is wearing like a white dress, and it looks like Joker or Arthur is wearing a tuxedo, and he's got his regular face paint on, and you can see kind of that she's got some face paint on. I don't know if she's gonna be like straight up looking like Joker. I think if they might just have her looking like this because it's Lady Gaga. Like, oh, why would you want to cover Lady Gaga's face? So I don't know if they're gonna go that route, but I also love how they're in a spotlight. And if you actually look, I didn't even notice that either. You see like a little window thing that might
Mm,
be Arkham Asylum.
hmm. The
Um,
asylum window.
but yeah, that I mean, those are my thoughts on the poster. AJ, what are your thoughts on the Joker poster?
I like the poster. It's very reminiscent of the Joker teaser poster from the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like mimics that a little bit, but also it's very like theatric. And
Mm-hmm.
it feels like yes, it is going to be a musical. It's gonna have musical numbers, and it says the world is a stage, and it feels like that's where they're at right now. And like you said up there, I didn't notice that either until you pointed it out, but it kind of mimics a spotlight on them. So that's pretty cool. I like it. It's very nice for a teaser poster. It kind of looks like a painting a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Um, so there's that as well. So I don't know. I
Yeah.
like it.
Um, we won't cover it next week, but yeah, no, we're taking a break next week. But
Hmm.
the following week we will be covering the trailer because it drops next Tuesday. So
Hmm.
we'll be covering that when we do the next live stream. But I'm excited for the trailer. I'm excited to see what we got.
Hmm.
We also got a snippet of Lady Gaga's voice. Some people were like, "That doesn't sound like Lady Gaga." I I don't know what you mean. That sounds like Lady Gaga to me.
Was it an official
Yeah, it
snippet?
was like
Oh, okay.
10 seconds of her talking to Joker. I think she says
Oh,
like, "You're my Joker" or something like that, or
hmm,
"You're a Joker," something like that. I know she says something something Joker.
okay.
Um,
I have to
and
check that out.
she's doing something with her voice, but it still sounded like Lady Gaga. So I don't really know.
Mm,
You know, whatever. People might just complain to complain, but I feel like there's a lot riding on this movie. For one, a lot of people did not want a sequel to Joker, me included. Um, and Lady Gaga's Harley Quinn, I feel like that has more pressure on this movie than anything. I feel like if she is not great, I feel like this movie is gonna crumble to the ground, no matter how good Joaquin Phoenix is again. You know,
mhm,
I'm intrigued though. I'm definitely intrigued. There's been a lot of behind the scenes things that we've seen with this movie. That's like, yo, like I think there's gonna be like multiple Jokers running around, which is kind of crazy. Um, I'm here for it though. I think it's gonna be good. I hope it's gonna be good. You know, I haven't been given anything to doubt that it's gonna be good. You know. So moving on to our main topic of the day. Like I said, it was a very light week. The Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire, another movie with Empire in the title. Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire, official spoiler talk. If you had not seen Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire, I will ask you to kindly exit the venue because there is actually a lot to spoil with this movie. Um,
half of it they spoiled in
exit,
the trailer.
yeah. Uh, Please exit the venue and come back when you have seen the movie. I have posted a spoiler free review on my channel. On my Instagram page. Go check that out if you have not already. And without further ado, let's get into it. So, Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. This was one of my most anticipated movies of the year. For those who don't know, I love these dumb, stupid monster movies. I do. The first Godzilla to me is a really fun movie. Kong Skull Island is very fine. The action in it is really good. Too bad the best action sequence in the movie doesn't even have King Kong in it. Um, King of the Monsters to me is a movie that always frustrates the ever living hell out of me. But the action in it is raw. And Godzilla versus Kong, I thought was a great time, and I thought that was a step in the right direction. And I watched the trailer for this, and I was like, that looks like an even further step in the right direction. You know, so I saw some people saying, "Man, I can't believe how stupid they're getting." I sat there and said, "Man, I can't believe how stupid they're getting in the best way possible." So I saw this opening night. I got this gigantic popcorn bucket. I was sitting there like a little kid munching on popcorn watching this movie. I've seen this movie twice. I went with Kevin on Thursday and I took my little brother on Sunday to see it because he was dying to see it. I had a great time both times. I had an absolute blast with this movie. Is this movie stupid? Beyond belief. Is the dialogue in this movie sometimes horrendous? Beyond belief. Does this movie make any sense? No. Do I care? No, because it features Godzilla, Kong, and other monsters punching the ever living daylights out of each other for 50 straight minutes, causing absolute mayhem. And that's all I wanted. I don't really understand how people saw the trailer and they walked in. First of all, if you watched the trailer and didn't like the trailer, I don't know why you bothered going to see this movie. I don't know what in your mind was like, "Ooh, I don't like the trailer, but maybe the movie will win me over." This is the first time in a long time that wasn't Dune Part 2 that a trailer marketed itself like 1000% accurate to what the movie actually was. The trailer was stupid and so was the movie. And I can't really get mad at that. I actually commend them for that. They knew exactly what this movie was and they marketed it as such. If you don't enjoy these movies at this point, why are you still watching them? I don't understand. If you watched King of the Monsters and you're like, oh, this sucks. And then you watch Godzilla versus Kong, you're like, oh, this sucks. You basically deem that you don't like these movies because King of the Monsters is a very serious. It's more like 2014. It's very serious in tone and whatever. Godzilla versus Kong cranked up the stupidity, and it's more of a stupid monster movie. If you don't like either, why are you here? I don't get that. You're you have told me that you don't like either side of this universe, especially if you don't like 24. If you don't like 2014, I really don't understand what you're doing here. Like, why are you wasting your time? And then you go online and say, "Oh, this is one of the worst movies ever made. 1 out of 5." It's like you knew that. You knew you were going to give it that. So why are you even bothering? That's a waste of 2 hours of your life. I don't really understand. It's the same people that, continuously crap on Fast and Furious. You said, oh, 7 was bad, 8 was bad, 9 was bad, Hobbs and Shaw was bad. Why are you expecting anything different with Fast X? They're not going to change because you said it was bad. Most people said 9 was bad and they kind of changed for the better, but they're not going to go less stupid because you told them that. They're going to not go less stupid because most people actually like Godzilla versus Kong. Most people are happy with the direction that this franchise is going, me included, and this guy included. So I personally, I am not complaining whatsoever. I'll take 10 more of these movies if they're going to be just as fun as this one was. These movies are made for two purposes: to entertain you and for you to have fun with them. I achieved both. Why are you going into this movie with a clipboard, pen and paper? Oh, the acting sucks so bad. Oh my god, the pacing is all over the place. Man, the script is just so horrendous. Oh my god. I'm gonna nominate this for a Razzie. Give me a break, bro. You know what you were walking into. If you knew what you were walking into, why are you going to be disappointed when you see the movie that you saw? Like, people need to be for real sometimes. You know? I don't know. Like I said, I pretty much loved it. I had a blast. AJ, what are your thoughts on the movie?
Giving my history with the franchise, the MonsterVerse, we'll say, 2014. Um, it has things that I enjoy about it. I don't love it. Um, then we got what, Kong Skull Island. I rewatched that one before this movie, and I appreciate it a lot more than I did when I first watched it. King of the Monsters is one of my favorite movies of all time, and it's one of my favorite MonsterVerse movies. Um, but Godzilla versus Kong, it kind of fluctuates with how much I like that movie. The CGI and the visuals are amazing. It's a fun time. It's just frustrating to me in some areas. Um, and I recently watched that Monarch show that they put on Disney or Disney Plus, Apple TV Plus, and it's just as frustrating in some areas. And then this movie, man, it's so much dang fun. I had so much fun with this movie. There are things that happen in this movie I never thought I would see in a MonsterVerse movie. Period. Like a big lizard and a big monkey doing. I would never think that I would see these things. But here we are. We're seeing these things, and it's just so much fun, and I can't wait to see it again. I'm seeing it again on Friday. Taking my mom to see it. She enjoys these movies too. So
Okay, so let's get into it. So, this movie opened up with it was Kong on Hollow Earth. Kong is so where this movie starts is that Kong is on Hollow Earth and Godzilla is on our Earth.
hmm
And basically the way it's set up is that if Kong doesn't come onto our Earth, then Godzilla gets to keep taking a nap in the Coliseum of Egypt, which happens like
it's
twice in this
catnap.
movie. Literally a cat nap. Um, and I kind of like how that's set up because I was wondering like how are they gonna get along? And I kind of it is really goofy the way they explain it. Rebecca Hall literally says, "Oh, if he doesn't come into his territory, then they got nothing to worry about." I was like, okay, whatever.
I mean, that's kind of how Godzilla
Yeah,
works,
you
and they
know,
established that in Godzilla versus Kong.
and Godzilla in this at this point in the MonsterVerse, I'm convinced is just a grumpy old man that just wants to sleep, and he can't because he's the king of the monsters, and he has to defend that throne.
Hmm. That's basically his whole thing.
And I feel like at this point he's like, man, can you not just leave me alone? Yeah, and then when they don't leave him alone, he's like, all right, I'm gonna get more powerful and prove that I'm better than all of you, no matter what.
Yeah, that's
So
a lot. That's what a lot of this movie was. Him powering
so
up.
I've seen a lot of people say, oh, Godzilla was sidelined. I don't agree with that. And the reason, first of all, we predicted that Godzilla wasn't going to be in this movie at all. We thought that he was just going to be sleeping in the hive of that jellyfish thing, and then he was just going to wake up and go help King Kong. We didn't think he was going to be in this. He was in this movie way more than I thought he was going to be.
Same.
And I also had expected him to be in it less because most people, when they reviewed this, said, "Oh, it's more of a Kong movie than Godzilla." Which
Which
is
is true.
funny. Yeah, it is true. And it's funny because before when this movie got announced, I was like, man, why can't they just do another Kong movie instead? Like that's what I want. And they kind of delivered on that. It is mainly a Kong movie pretty much with Godzilla featuring Godzilla. And I mean, I can see why people are upset, but I'm not upset about that. I'm fine with that because up until before this movie, I feel like Kong was kind of just a waste. Like he had some good things in Godzilla versus Kong, sure, but they were very brief. And we had Skull Island before that, and they really don't touch on him at all in that movie. He's just really there.
Hmm.
So I'm glad that we finally have some, depth and backstory on him. I really like that. And it was interesting seeing that. I really like his arc. Yes, the monkey has an arc, believe it or not.
He
Um,
does.
I like the fact that his arc is that he's digging through Hollow Earth looking for his family. I actually think that's really touching. And what they did with Suko, which they don't say his name in the movie, but his name is Suko, the little mini. Is that a mini Kong? That
Mini Kong, Baby
um,
Kong.
what they did with him, I wasn't expecting. I've seen many people say it was like God of War. uh,
Hmm.
Kevin next to me the whole time he's like, boy. I was like, shut up. Um, it is very much like God of War. He even has an axe and everything. He kind of takes him under his wing, and I liked that. You know, um, and then that leads us to him finding Scar and all the other monkeys, and I thought that was really cool. Something that is added to this movie that I wish we knew before was that Gia, the deaf girl, she is a part of that clan on Skull Island. She's the last member of that clan. And I really wish she was in Skull Island or
Yeah.
in some capacity because I think that could have been really cool as like because to me in my opinion you know you can say that Kong Skull Island is entertaining, fine. To me, that movie doesn't really matter that much when you look at the grand scheme of the MonsterVerse,
Hmm.
because other than them referencing Monarch and stuff, it's kind of just and they talk about Hollow Earth too. It's kind of just oh yeah, it's a Kong movie, so that way Kong is in this universe.
Yeah.
That's kind of what that movie is. I
Yeah.
feel like
But they
if
also have characters from Monarch in that movie too. So that kind of intertwines as well. Even though Monarch doesn't really feel like it's really part of this universe either. But I get
Um,
what you're saying.
I feel like if Gia was in there, or if we had a scene where we saw her getting taken from Skull Island, and also when they take when they take Kong from Skull Island and put him in that fake Skull Island, I
Hmm.
feel like that would have been really neat because we'd have some attachment to Skull Island and we'd be like, oh, that's kind of how they made that movie, a little bit more better,
I
you
will
know.
tell you this. I believe that character was thought of and written for Godzilla versus Kong.
Well, yeah, I know
They,
for a fact
yeah,
that they wrote this
they,
character on the spot, and
hmm
for all we know,
they're
they
like,
wrote the her arc in this movie. They wrote that in 30 seconds. But
yes,
my point is, if it had existed before, I think it would have made this movie mean a little more, and I think we would maybe connect to that character a lot more. She'd probably be like
okay.
80 by now, but that'd still be cool regardless. Um, the humans, man. The big
Mm,
the humans ruined my life. They're written by AI. They're terrible. Oh my god. I'm convinced by this point in the MonsterVerse, people just say the humans are bad because they have to or they want to. I don't know what movie other people watched compared to me and AJ. I actually really like the humans in this movie. I think they did a good job at trimming the weight from Godzilla versus Kong because that was definitely an issue where I liked Alexander Skarsgård and Rebecca Hall and Gia. I did not like Millie Bobby Brown, Brian and Tyree Henry, and the kid from Deadpool. So they took well, who was the best part of the Millie Bobby Brown crew? Brian Tyree Henry, and then Rebecca Hall and Gia were cool, and they spliced them together, and then we got the gift that kept on giving, Dan Stevens,
Dan
who was
Stevens.
amazing in this movie.
He was
Who
the one
he's
actor that I was excited to see in this movie. New actor, and
and
he
he ate and
delivered.
left no crumbs.
He delivered, man.
This man is a monster veterinarian that comes with an 80s soundtrack.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, a veterinarian and a dentist. That is, bro. King Kong going to the dentist was the inciting incident to this movie.
Yes, sir. He had to go. He
This
had a
man,
dentist appointment, and
bro.
Godzilla woke up.
Even
I'm
the
coming.
second time, even the second time I saw it, the dude behind me was like, "He went to the dentist."
Yes,
I was
sir. I would
like,
have definitely said yes, sir.
okay, I guess. I was like, he took a trip to the dentist. Um, and he's got like this titanium tooth now. He's like, oh yeah, he could bite through the Eiffel Tower with that thing. I was like, sure. Um, I think something that this movie does. But back to the humans really quick. I like them. I think Gia had a really cool arc. Rebecca Hall, her arc doesn't really come to fruition until the very end, which I actually really like the scene at the end.
Me
With
too.
her and Gia, I like that scene a lot. And I think the four characters that survive anyway. We'll talk about that later. The four characters, I think they all have really good chemistry with one another.
Mhm.
And I think if they're gonna keep a human group in this franchise, just keep the four of them. Don't add any more to them. They probably will, but just don't add any more to them. Those four work. The core four.
The
They work.
MonsterVerse Core Four.
Yeah, they work together very well. Um, I think something this movie does very well is that it gets going very quickly, very
Yes.
quickly.
Mhm,
The pacing I thought was very good up until about the ending of the second act. That's where it slowed down a little bit.
mhm.
Um,
Exposition and
one speaking of exposition, one negative that I have with this movie, no doubt, the movie really treats the audience like they're idiots. There will be times where, like, jumping ahead to the end where Kong has to go get Kong. Wait, Kong
Godzilla.
has to get
Go
Godzilla.
get Godzilla.
He jumps through the Hollow Earth portal, and we know what he's doing. We can kind of process. Oh yeah, he's going to get Godzilla. 2 seconds later, Rebecca Hall's like, he's going to get Godzilla because he needs help because the big monkey is riding the ice breathing dragon, and he needs help and he needs to save the pyramids. Really, Rebecca Hall? Thank you very much. I couldn't.
Hey, I'm gonna
Process
be
that.
honest. I'm gonna be honest. My mom, if she watches this movie, she might need that. She'd be like, "What's going on?"
There was a lot of
It,
exposition in this movie, and some of it was
it
needed.
was.
Like when they explained how Mothra relates to this race, I was like, okay,
Mhm.
fine. But there's other times where I'm
Yeah,
like,
and the
yes,
scar
lady.
king.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like,
Mhm.
yes, lady. Other times I was just like, yes, bro, I can see this. Shut
Mhm.
up and let it happen.
Yeah,
Um,
I get that.
that was really my. Those are really my only two negatives.
Mhm.
Um, let's talk about. So let's talk about Godzilla first, because Godzilla, he doesn't really have a lot going on. So Godzilla, they Kong and they get like this distress call from Hollow Earth, and they don't really know what's going on. And then it turns out we find out that they're calling for help,
Mhm.
and I guess they somehow knew that the Scar King had Shimu somehow. I guess.
Yeah,
I'm
it
sure.
was written in the it was written in that
Yeah.
cave. Mhm.
So they were really calling to Godzilla. I don't know how he was supposed to hear that, but he did. I guess he sensed it. So Godzilla, this whole movie is essentially powering up and getting stronger,
Mhm.
and we get three fights. We get three fights. Well, no, two fights and one scene where he's getting energy. So we
Mhm.
get the first fight. It's like a 2 second fight. Really good fight though. It kind of set the tone for the whole movie. You see Godzilla moving like he's been hitting the treadmill like no tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Hitting the gym.
and this is something else I want to touch on. I've seen a lot of people saying the scaling of the monsters in this movie is kind of weird in
Mhm.
comparison to the other movies. That is something I can definitely agree on, because you watch the 2014 Godzilla, this dude is a freaking mountain,
Yeah.
and now he's kind of small.
Mhm.
And while I understand that complaint, I feel like they kind of had to do that because he can't really fight like that. Even in 2014 Godzilla, he's moving like insanely slow. So if they wanted to do the action like this, they kind of had to, desize him. The same thing with Kong. I'm
Yeah,
not really mad
exactly.
about that. They still look pretty big,
Mhm.
but that is a complaint I can kind of understand. Like,
Mhm.
because even in Skull Island, Kong is huge. But in Godzilla versus Kong, I felt like they shrunk them both down. But somehow in this movie they feel even smaller.
Mhm.
Especially with how fast they're moving. The second fight with Godzilla, second sequence with Godzilla, he goes to this nuclear plant and absorbs all the energy, and he gets like really, really, really blue, and he wipes out all these people, which was nuts. That was
That was
crazy.
great.
That reminded me of Shin Godzilla. When
Mhm. Yep.
um and then the third one is when he fights this jellyfish thing. I thought it was awesome
That
when
was
he did
that
this.
that fight was raw. I
That
love
was
that one.
really cool.
And it was
It
an
was really
underwater fight kind of too.
Yeah,
So,
it was pretty cool because you see the submarine and they're like, "Oh man, we don't know where he is," and I guess he was camouflaged under the water or something. I don't know. We just see, and he's shooting into this thing's hive, and I thought it was really cool to see. Like, I really appreciated seeing different kinds of titans in this movie.
mhm.
You know, when in early in the movie they're like, oh man, why is he going to the Arctic Antarctica, and it showed all those titans popping up. I was like, yo, is he about to take on like 8 titans at once? Like, I need that in my life, please. He didn't do that, but it was just really cool, and I like how he demolishes this thing, like literally demolishes it, and he kind of just goes into the cave. He's like, all right, this is mine now, I'm gonna sit here until I'm ready, let's go. So the rest is Kong's movie pretty much. And
Well, that was real quick. That was the sequence where he became pink when he was
yeah.
absorbing that energy.
Mhm.
The energy was pink, and we got our explanation. You
Yeah.
know, why is he
Why
pink?
is he pink? Who cares, bro? He looks awesome. It's from there, it's pretty much Kong's movie. I love the scene where they first go into Hollow Earth. That was such a fun
Yeah.
sequence. Dan Stevens was hamming it up. I loved it. Brian Tyree Henry the whole time is recording it like it's a nature doc. I thought that was hilarious. I love how Dan Stevens talks into the camera. He's like, "Are you freaking kidding me?" Right down the lens. It's like, "Come on, bro, like move, get out of my way."
We gotta shoot it
Uh,
again.
so Kong's arc starts where he's running around and he finds these he finds the little monkey Suko, and he gets jumped by all these other monkeys, and it's a big action sequence. And I love this was the first sign of the things to come in this movie. I love how the one monkey, he falls over and Kong picks him up because it's like, oh, he just wants to find his family. Like, why is he doesn't want to fight these guys? And then the monkey tries to kill him again. He's like, all right, fuck this shit. He kicks him off the cliff. I was like,
This is
oh,
Sparta.
that was hilarious. And then that's immediately followed up by one of the moments that I'm sure parents will show their child to and say, if you disobey me one more time, this is what I'm gonna do to you. Suko was giving Kong crap. He said, "Bro, I'm not taking this. Come here." He grabs him and starts
Starts
whacking the
using them as a
monkeys with him.
weapon.
And then
I
he
said,
throws him.
I said, yo, ain't
I
no
was
way.
I was not expecting that. I was
Me
like,
either.
wow. It's like,
That's
okay. The best part is when he throws him after that. He goes, "Dum, dum,
mhm.
dum, dum, dum," and throws him. Oh, how can I forget? So then there's one monkey that's still standing and he's giving him crap. And Kong, he roars at him. He's like, all right, you got it. And he runs away. Kong is like, nah, bro, you pissed me off. He takes a rock and he chucks it, and you literally hear the dunk. And
Don't.
he smacks the monkey in the head. Monkey was down for the count, bro. Oh, this movie was a cartoon. And we haven't even hit the third act yet. So, like I said, this movie was Kong taking the little monkey under his wing, and we get a cool fight where they're trying to get some food, and this like uh dragon thing kind of attacks Kong. And I wish we had seen him kill the thing. We just
Yeah.
see Suko run away, and then he throws his head at him, which that was admittedly cool anyway. But and I like the scene where he's eating, and Suko's like, "I want some," and he's
Yeah.
like, "All right, here you go."
Yeah.
We
That
all
scene definitely goes towards the arc of those two characters. Um, really, that was a heartfelt scene, in my opinion.
yeah.
Definitely.
So this lead, I'm just gonna kind of talk about mainly the monster stuff, and we'll come back to the human stuff later.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
this leads Kong to the temple of the Scar King, and I thought this sequence was just spectacular to watch. It was no dialogue, it was only the monsters, and for the most part you understood what was happening. There were some parts where I was like, okay, I'm just going along with it,
Mhm.
you know um and I love how Scar has these monkeys in prison. That was
Mhm.
pretty neat. For the location and all that was also really cool too. The actual temple was really nice. And we get the introduction of the wait, before that. We get they walk in, and this monkey is picking on Suko,
Yeah.
and he gets behind Kong, and the monkey's giving him crap, literally giving him crap. He's roaring in his face, talking all this. Bro, Kong knocks this monkey into the next ice age, bro. That monkey was, I think he killed him. That monkey was cooked, bro. My man's had his
All you
eyes
see
wide
was
open, the
Kong's
tongue
fist.
out. Bro, that I'm
Knocked him
so
out
glad that
cold.
people have memed on that so hard because I was in tears watching that. That was hilarious. And then after this, we get the introduction of our villain, the Scar King.
Mhm.
And
Which came about halfway through the film.
yeah, which
Mhm.
I was a little worried because up to this point, I was like, man, we haven't seen him yet. Like, yeah, I
I
want to
agree.
see him, you know. And we finally saw him. I've seen a lot of people say, "Oh, he was kind of a disappointing villain." What's up, Hunter? I've seen a lot of people, "Oh, he was a disappointing villain." I personally, I really liked him. I thought he was cool. You know, could they have given us some back? I mean, we did get some backstory on him, but could they have dived into him the way they did Kong in this movie? Sure, but I thought what they lacked there, they made up for his fights and his action and his
Mhm.
power set, if you will.
Yeah. His agility
Um,
too. This man
and
was doing
yeah,
backflips and front flips and
and I was worried. I was worried because when they revealed that the villain for this movie was just gonna be another monkey, I was like, man, that's kind of a downgrade from Mecha Godzilla, but okay, we'll see what it was. And I thought that he put up a fight for the most part. Yes, did he need Shimu for everything? Yes, but
Mhm.
who cares, bro? He still was a imposing villain. I love when
Mhm.
he first walks out and he's got like this weird posture, and I like how he
Yeah.
goes up to
He had like
Kong.
he had like a swagger to him, and
It honestly,
I
believe
really
it,
like that.
it reminded me of anime, to be honest.
Yeah,
There's a shot
yeah,
where
I can see that.
he leans back and he's kind of like got this like zen look on his face, and he kind of
Mhm.
just goes like this to him. I was like, oh,
Mhm.
that's so anime, and you know it.
Mhm.
Um, and we get our first big like monster fight that lasts longer than 30 seconds. I thought this fight was awesome. It was a dirty, gritty, fight. I thought it was great. Also, Scar King killed. I guess it was a monkey that was close to Suko or something. I don't know,
Yeah,
but
he was one of the slaves or whatever,
yeah,
the workers, and you know he killed him, and Kong wasn't up for that.
yeah. And we get this fight. It was a really cool fight. I really like, even before we found out what this thing actually was, his little scorpion tail thing. That's what we'll call it. It looked really cool,
Mhm.
and it was a cool weapon the way he used it.
Mhm.
And Kong was whooping him a little bit. He was getting Scar was getting some hits in, but Kong got the upper hand, and he said, "All right, I got something for you." And he revealed that Shimu is in this temple, and I think Shimu is supposed to be like one of the oldest living monsters.
Mhm.
That's what I heard about her. I found out it was a her 2 days ago. So
Really?
yeah. Um,
Yeah.
but I thought Shimu was really cool in this movie. I'm excited to see more of her. I
They
thought she
had
was really
her
cool.
imprisoned for the majority of the movie, but um, she had a really cool set, a power set, and we saw her breathe
Yeah,
ice breath. That was pretty cool.
and I thought she looked great too. She looked really good.
Mhm.
They did a good job with her facial animations.
Mhm.
So Kong gets frostbite.
He gets frostbite.
He gets
Yeah,
frostbite
dude.
from Shimu, which I was wondering. I was like, is his arm gonna break off? That's what I was thinking. Like, his arm got like really, really frozen. I was like,
Mhm.
oh, is it gonna break? And it doesn't. He's just like, my arm. So they escaped, and Suko helps him, and they get back to the temple with the humans, and that's when he gets the Infinity Gauntlet in an amazing sequence that had Kiss played in a Godzilla movie.
Yes, sir.
That song has been on
The
repeat.
augmentation.
I love it. So we'll touch on the human part a little bit, because then that this all leads into the third act. So they find this hidden temple
Mhm.
in Hollow Earth, and it's where Gia's race has been hiding at. I thought they were gonna reveal the woman that shows up. I thought that was gonna be her real mom somehow.
I thought so too.
They didn't do that, but I was like, okay. But I do like the fact that she's the last member of that family on Skull Island. I think that's really cool.
Mhm.
So we get a whole bunch of exposition, and basically we find out there's the prophecy that Gia, one of the last member of one of their own, she would end up bringing back Mothra. Um,
Real
Now,
quick, something that I thought was kind of strange but made sense in a way was that they were all mute. The people in this civilization were all mute. It just
mhm,
like Gia, but I
yeah.
I didn't. I was like, so this entire time that we are with these people, they're not gonna be saying anything. Okay, and we were with them for a while, so it kind of forced um Rebecca Hall's character to deliver the exposition, which was kind of strange to me. I was like, I feel like some of the people in the civilization should be bringing forth this information, but they don't talk. So
I mean, the
kind of
way that
forced
would
it.
have went was they would have told it to Gia, and then Gia would have signed it to Rebecca Hall, and then Rebecca Hall would have had to
Yeah, no,
regurgitate it
that wouldn't
anyway.
have worked. So I'm glad they did it the way they did, but it just was kind of strange to me. Um, yeah, but carry on.
Um, Mothra, man. Um, I didn't know Mothra was in this movie until a single day before I saw this movie. Thanks, China. Appreciate you for spoiling the whole movie on Twitter. Thank you. With that said, I loved Mothra in this movie. Mothra is one of the highlights of King of the Monsters. Her scene where she comes out of her cocoon in King of the Monsters is one of the most beautiful scenes ever. It is truly a scene that nobody talks, and the music and the imagery does the talking. It's beautiful. And I love what she does in the third act of King of the Monsters too. That's awesome. Um,
The thing about this character is she feels like it's hard to picture, but like she feels nurturing, and she like feels kind, like by the different things that she does and stuff like that. Even like I know we're gonna get to the zero gravity scene, but like even with the zero gravity scene and her like taking out these enemies, she like spits the webs at them, and they're like cradled like little babies going going down. It's like she's so like caring and like I don't know, something like that. I really like this character, and it like brings something different to these monsters.
Well, yeah, she for one she flies, but also
That's
she's smaller and she fights differently compared to the other Titans.
yes,
But it was nice to see Mothra back, man. One little
definitely.
nitpick that I had with Mothra is like they had a lot of build up for her coming back, and they kind of just bring her back in 30 seconds. And they don't really linger on the scene or nothing. Like it's unfair to compare it to King of the Monsters, but King of the Monsters, where she comes out of that cocoon, it is just so majestic, and the scene goes on for so long, but in a good way. This scene, oh, she's back. All right, she's gonna go play referee now.
I think it's one of those things where it's kind of like with the cartoons, with different cartoons. Like you see a suit up in like one of the first episodes of a show, and like it's a really long suit up. You see the sleeves go on, you see the boots go on, but
Yeah,
like by the second episode, okay, we've seen all that. Let's kind of pick up the pace with that. I feel like that's kind of what they were going for with that.
it could be, but I was just like, oh, she's back. Okay, cool.
That's kind of how they were too.
Yeah,
She's
I
back.
missed.
Don't
I
waste no.
missed having you.
We're trying to trim the fat on these movies. Let's go. you know.
So now pretty much we've entered what I'm gonna always remember this movie for, which is the last 50 minutes of this movie.
Best part of
So
the movie.
Godzilla, King Kong gets his Infinity Gauntlet, and I like how he was like, he's either gonna rip it off or he's gonna like it. And
Yo,
Brian Tyree
that
Henry's like,
scene.
I think he loves it.
I love that scene. I love that scene
Yeah,
so
that was cool. So uh Kong goes to regular Earth to get I wish we had an official name for it, like Earth 616 or something,
much.
instead of calling it regular Earth.
Yeah, our
So
Earth.
Kong goes, oh yeah, we didn't mention this. They find out that in this hidden temple they have different portals to Hollow Earth. Oh, to regular Earth, that they go to different places. Which I mean, I was like, okay, sure, whatever. And they mentioned something about the pyramids. It was a bunch of exposition. I don't care. Something was gonna happen with pyramids. That's all I know. So Kong goes through this portal, and he comes up in Egypt, and Godzilla's heading his way. God- Godzilla sees Kong, and he does a full Olympic swan dive into the ocean. I'm talking, he leaps and says, into the ocean.
We can't make this up.
I love how it goes slow motion too. That
Yes.
was amazing. And we get into the one thing that people have complained about so much, and I'm kind of just like, I don't care. Godzilla's swimming, and he just annihilates three bridges that had cars on them. All those people are dead, beyond the word dead. I've seen some people saying, "Oh, well, how's nobody complaining about this?" I'm sorry. In what realm are you living in that these monsters are going to fight on Earth where people are not going to die? I can
Like,
understand you giving Man of Steel crap for this because they're two, not human beings, but they're people. You know, these are full gigantic monsters. They're going to kill people by accident. That's just how it is. Like, there's no way around that. I'm sorry. The only way you were gonna get around that is by having the entire third act take place in Hollow Earth, and to me, that's kind of boring. I don't know. That's just, you know, to me, that's just a stupid nitpick. Like, there's going to be there was destruction in every single one of these movies, but now it's an issue. Boston is not Boston anymore after King of the Monsters. Like, it's just not. The final shot of King of the Monsters, there's literally no buildings. Godzilla is standing on whatever pile of rocks is left of Boston. That's his throne. And then Hong Kong gets annihilated by Mecha Godzilla and them shooting beams at each other. But no, because they destroyed a little town in Rio, now it's an issue, right? Give me a
yeah,
break, man.
Godzilla sees Kong, and he goes straight for him, sprints. He swan, like you said, he swan dives in there. He gets on land. He's sprinting, bro, full
Yeah,
force.
he was definitely hitting the treadmill,
And
bro.
this is the this is one of the best wait moments. Because Kong has nothing but good intentions. He's like, yo, I need your help, bro.
Bro, it's the
Godzilla's
look
not
he
trying to hear
made,
it.
bro. The look
So
on his face, like, no.
you see him put it on his hands. He said, oh, wait.
Oh my,
Godzilla not trying to hear it, bro.
yo. He said, nah, bro. I gave you one rule, bro. You stay down
There
there,
was
bro.
one rule in the house, and you broke
Yo.
it.
He told him what, bro. He was like, you got lucky because you came up here and I didn't find out about it, bro. Now I'm up here, bro. It's on site for you now, bro.
It's on site. Yeah, so,
and
bro,
and let the mayhem ensue, bro. So we get round
sir.
what, four at this point of Godzilla and Kong going at it. This was, I I want to say this was better than their fight at the end of Godzilla versus Kong. It gives it competition.
Hmm.
Like, it's a really good fight.
It was different because, like you said, in this movie, they feel like they're more agile. They feel like they're, able to move quicker. In Godzilla versus Kong, they're like a lot slower, even though they are like packing a punch.
They
They're a
were
lot
moving
slower.
really fast
Yeah,
in
they're
that movie.
moving really fast, and there are moves that I never thought that I would see them do in this scene in particular. With the suplex, bro, the suplex
God,
off
listen,
off
listen. No, 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 no.
off the
Listen.
pyramid.
Kong has Godzilla up against the pyramid or whatever. Godzilla wasn't having none of that. Kong tried to get an advantage by climbing up the pyramid. He said no, bro. He grabs this man and suplexes him into the desert, bro. I, and if you think I'm joking, go on Twitter because it's all over Twitter. He literally grabbed him by the head and suplexed him over his head. It was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
WWE for the MonsterVerse.
Bro, I could not believe my eyes. And this is, mind you, this is before the goofiest moment when they're charging at Scar King together. This is before all of that. We haven't even hit the peak of stupidity yet. that happened, and I was like, I give up. Bro, that was truly amazing. That is when I knew, oh yeah, we're in good hands with this
That's what I
franchise, and
came
I
to
honestly
see.
don't care.
That's what I
Yes,
went to see.
that's what I came to see. And Kong, so after this, Kong finally gets the upper hand, and he put that gauntlet to work. And before I talk about this, I found it funny that the explanation that they gave for why they made it Project Powerhouse.
Mm, Project Powerhouse.
I told Kevin, because we both looked at each other when she said that. We both knew how stupid that was, and I was like, it could have been worse. They could have called it like Project DK or something. You know, they could have done that.
Yeah.
So basically, the explanation for why the arm exists is that they said after Mechagodzilla, they were trying to enhance the Titans or something, but the government shut it down. Which I mean, rightfully so. That's a
Yes.
stupid idea.
Make
But
the Titans stronger. That
yeah.
could almost destroy the
And
world.
of course, how convenient the prototype was in Hollow Earth, right where
Yep,
they were
right
at.
up the street. He said, let me go grab this, bro. It's right across
Literally,
right across the street.
it's up the block.
Up the
So I was just kind of like, that explanation is so funny. What you really meant to say was Khan can't whoop anybody to save his life. So we need to, enhance
Definitely
him.
not Godzilla, but
I
yeah.
was like, sure, whatever. I mean, maybe they made the arm for him because they knew somehow they were gonna fight again, and they were like, well, let's not have him get whooped again. Even though
Mhm.
that almost happened again. But
It
anyway.
it would
So
have happened again.
he
Number one.
goes to town on Godzilla, and he actually got the upper hand. He knocked this dude out cold.
Yeah, he had
And
that powerhouse or whatever.
yeah, and he starts dragging him by his tail. I was like, wait, I was just in shock because I was like, oh man, he really knocked him out. And then he starts moving. I was like, wait, what is he do? Bro, he was dragging him by his tail, bro.
He said, "You're coming with me." Oh shoot.
He just he was dragging him by his tail, bro. And even half unconscious, Godzilla's not having it, bro. You
Nope.
see him powering up, and he's going down, and he shoots at Kong. And Kong, oh my god,
Kong's
the look
face
on his
too. He
face,
said,
no!
he said,
And he hauls ass, runs behind the pyramid, and he shoots at him again, and he does a barrel roll. I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. Finally, Mothra comes out, and he's like, bro, stop it, bro, enough. And I saw this the second time. Gia is on top of the pyramid. I'm like, where did you come from? Were you riding Mothra or something? I don't know where you came from, but okay. And she looks at Godzilla, and Godzilla's like, fine, I won't kill him. Let's go. And they jump down to Hollow Earth, and Scar King and Shimu, they all break in to this temple, and the pyramids are about to collide, and they freeze it. And you see this thing come down. I forgot what line of dialogue came. There was a line of dialogue that came before they entered. I forgot. It was something along the lines, "Oh, what now? Like, what are we gonna do now?" I
mm,
was like, "Oh man, that's so perfect." They come down from Earth like a shooting star, and Scar King's looking at him like, "Yo, what the hell is about to happen?" My theater was dead the entire time during this movie, pretty much. Other than when Mothra came back, you heard some claps. My theater exploded for the one shot we have seen as a movie going audience 20,000 times. It was as epic as we saw it the first time.
it's in
They
context. It's
they
in context. We
bust
got
out of the ground, hauling ass, and it was cinematic perfection at its finest. Godzilla and King Kong charging into battle together. Shimu and Scar, they charge in. He's riding Shimu. Kong says, "You're not getting the advantage." He jumps onto King Kong, Godzilla, and we get this amazing wide shot of
them
Kong
charging.
and Scar
Yeah.
King. They leap off of Shimu and Godzilla in this amazing one shot that I want it on my wall right now because it's just amazing. And they're cutting back in slow motion, and the freeze frames on the monsters are just so horrendous. I loved it. It was so over the top. And
Saturday
as
morning
they're,
cartoon.
yes, literally, as they're colliding, the pyramids finally collide, and that causes zero gravity, and they all like, they all separate, and we get this sequence where Godzilla and Shimu, they're fighting, like, and they're falling at the same time. This looked so goofy. It really did. I enjoyed it. I loved it. But seeing Godzilla like flailing in the
Floating.
air,
Yo,
I was like, oh my god, this is ridiculous. But it works. It just works. It does. And the funny thing to me was they're falling in zero gravity. Godzilla's still trying to get to Shibu. He's like, "No, I want him. Let me at him. Let me at him."
yo, when Godzilla has a goal in mind, he achieves
Bro,
it.
there's no
He
stopping
don't
this.
stop. No stopping him.
Kong and Scar were going at it. Suko was fighting off the other little apes that were with Scar, and Mothra was fighting them off too. That was nice. Dan Stevens comes and he gets all of them in the spaceship, all the humans, and the zero gravity messes it up, but Mothra carries the ship. I thought that was neat. Um, it's just it's a fight in zero gravity with these four monsters. I thought this was really entertaining for what it was. There were some really neat moments in here. There's a moment where Shimu freezes Godzilla and he just busts out of it. He does like a huge energy pulse. I was like, oh my god, I love it. I freaking love it so much. And this eventually it carries over to a battle on our Earth. They all get sucked through the portal. I thought this was the goofiest part of the movie for me, beyond belief. Seeing Godzilla and Kong get sucked through a portal, and they were like, "No, no, no!" And get like, I was like, "Oh my god!"
Not the no.
That's what it looked like. Godzilla was like flailing his arms, trying to stay there. And
Not again. Yo, this is also a scene where Kong loses his axe too. His weapon. He,
yes,
get kind of gets stuck in the portal area.
that's where Suko comes in. This is
Hmm.
the third act.
And that's a really
Uh,
nice moment too, where he comes in with it.
so they cut they cut to Rio, and I was like, why is it Rio? It's always Rio that's getting it bad. I feel like you had two Fast and Furious movies where Rio got it bad, and now this. I'm like, man, you people can't catch a break. Um, so Scar King comes out of this portal with Shimu, and Shimu's like freezing this ocean on the beach. I thought that was really neat. And she's shooting a beam into the sky, and Godzilla just comes out of nowhere, poof, and demolishes her. And Scar King is kind of just standing there like Kong comes out of the portal and punches the ever living daylights out of Scar. Scar goes flying. It just killed me because Scar's just sitting there, and you just see his big monkey paw, doof.
Ridiculous.
Oh, I loved it.
Oh,
I
oh,
loved it.
me too.
So they're in a city and they're throwing down. This was so cool, man. Just seeing them full on Mortal Kombat style, just kicking the heck out of each other. You
I
know,
had a smile on my face the whole time, the whole sequence.
uh, it was at points it was like 2-on-1. Scar and Shima were, double teaming Kong, and then Godzilla would come in for the save. You
Mhm.
know,
Tag
I
teaming.
loved it. Even though we saw it in the trailer, the part where he throws the building at Kong and he just
Yeah, he
punches
punches
through
the
it,
building.
I was like,
Yes.
"Give it to me, bro. Just give it to me. I love it." Um, there's a part where Godzilla, um, he does this like crazy move where he powers up and his whole body became pink and his eyes were just like they look more purple than pink, and he
Mm.
just destroys Scar, sends him flying. Um, and I love the part where eventually they get the upper hand when Suko comes out and he destroys the crystal. I thought that was really neat, and I thought they were gonna do more to Scar King than what they did. I thought like somehow Shimu and Godzilla they were gonna shoot a beam at the same time and hit Scar or
That
something.
would have been raw. That
I
would have
was
been raw.
That's what I
What
thought
happened
was
was
gonna happen.
dope too, but
Yeah, it
that
did.
would have been
It
raw.
was. I love the part where they get the upper hand and Kong grabs Scar and he's like, no, let me go. He's like, nah, bro, you gonna get yours now.
You
He
sealed
throws
your
him at,
fate.
bro. He throws him at Godzilla, and Godzilla whacks him with his
they
tail and sends him back
they
that way,
juggle they juggle this man. They juggle this man in the air.
bro. He smacked him with his tail and he went flying, bro. That Listen, if this was a video game, that would have been Godzilla smacks him with his tail. He would have been flying out of the atmosphere, and it would have said "game" on it.
New
That
challenger.
Yes, bro. That's exactly what that would have been. Because Scar King was on 105 health at that point. He was on red health, and it was smoking and everything, bro.
Not 105, 105%. Oh shoot, those numbers are redder than
Oh,
all get out.
oh man. And he had lost a tooth. I forgot about that. He rocks this dude and he spits out his tooth and he goes tumbling down the street. I was like, yo, oh man,
This
bro.
dude Scar King gets it real bad.
So then, all in all, this culminates in Kong grabbing Scar King again, and Shimu freezes the ever living daylights out of him, and he just throws him on the ground and destroys him. Like literally destroys him. This was a Mortal Kombat fatality if I've
Yeah,
ever
he ain't
seen it.
coming back.
And we get this epicness of Kong is holding the axe and he gives a little smirk. I loved it.
Mhm.
Godzilla throws a beam up into the sky. I loved it. I loved it. This is why I go to the movies, man. This is why I go to the movies. I thought this was just absolutely phenomenal. We get a nice scene at the end where Rebecca Hall thinks that Gia is gonna stay with the Temple people because they're her real family, and she says something along the lines of like, "You are my family. Wherever you go, I go," and that hit. It really did.
It
I've
did.
seen a lot of people say, "Oh, it's really sad how they try to get me to care about the humans, bro." I care about them a
Mhm.
little bit at least. Now, if they
That was a
all
really
got
nice moment.
stomped, if they got stomped on by Godzilla, I mean, I don't know if I cry a river or something, but I'd at least feel something,
Mhm.
But I thought that was really nice. Um, and then the end of our movie happens. We get Kong going back to the Coliseum to take a nap. Hopefully nobody disturbs him. Hopefully they just leave him
Godzilla.
alone. Oh yeah, Godzilla. And Kong is back on Hollow Earth. He has control. Well, I guess not has control, but him and Shimo are cool.
Mhm.
And he's riding her, which I was like, that's a weird visual, but okay. No, we've never seen Kong ride something before,
Yeah. I mean, until
not to
this
my
movie.
knowledge. Yeah. So I was like, that's interesting, but okay. And I guess this is them like deeming him the king without actually deeming him the king. And I was like, if this is you doing that, you failed because he ain't the king of nothing compared to Godzilla.
I feel like it was more of like he was liberating those people that were enslaved down there. That's what I took it as.
Because you had King of the Monsters, all the monsters were bowing down to him. They're like,
Oh
"You got
yeah.
it, bro."
Nah, bro.
Like he's the king of the
He ain't got
monsters.
nothing on Godzilla, bro. He ain't
You
got
know,
nothing on Godzilla, bro.
yeah. My Godzilla shirt is dirty by this, but that's the end. That it was. I had such a good time, and I said it on my Instagram review. I needed this movie in my life. I did. I haven't had this much fun watching something in like some so stupid since like Fast X. I remember last year, Fast X was one of the best theater experiences I had last year. I had a blast watching that
Mm,
movie in the theater. You know, if I had seen this movie in the city with the right crowd, oh man, that probably was going to be one of the best theater experiences ever. You know, but I don't know, man. There's an audience for these movies, and we're a part of it.
yes, sir.
We love the stupidity, and I want them to do more. I want them to do more stupid things.
Hmm.
Bring on Mecha Ghidorah. I want it.
Yeah,
I want it. Give me that.
let's
I
go.
need that. Give me like Charles Dance, and he's on top of Mecha Ghidorah. Like, I told you I'll be back. He didn't get to ride a dragon in Game of Thrones, but he'll do it there in the Monsterverse. Um, but yeah, in terms of where they go for a sequel, I really don't know, to be honest. I'm sure that both monsters are just gonna be chilling, and then there's gonna be like another monster that just comes out of nowhere, and they're like, "Oh, we gotta fight him again." You know, I would if they do another one where it's Kong and Godzilla, which I think they're going to do. Like, I don't see them making just a Kong movie like for the
Not
next
anymore. No.
entry. Yeah, especially with how much money this movie made. Um, I would like to see them incorporate Godzilla in a better way. Like I like the way they use Godzilla here, but I wish they would make it that they're both in the movie about as much as the same time and they're like together.
Hmm.
You know, that's my one wish. However they do that, I'm here for it, you know,
Yeah.
but
I feel like it would be kind of hard to give Godzilla an actual arc. But yeah, like if they incorporate him in a different way, more included into the story, I think I would like it a little bit better as well.
but Adam Wingard, you know, he Godzilla versus Kong wasn't perfect. You know, I think he definitely nailed it with this one, and I'm ready. He says he has plans for a whole bunch more. Give it to me now.
Let's
I'm ready
go. If
for
it's
it.
like this, let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, maybe tone down the exposition a little bit, but other than that, as long as it's this fun, I'm here for it. So now we're gonna be moving on to our ranking of the MonsterVerse movies really quickly. Me and AJ definitely have different rankings, but
Yes.
it's okay. Um, so let me get my list. So coming in at number 5, do I have the Blu-ray right here? Yes, I do. Number 5 is going to be Kong Skull Island. The technical aspects of this movie are amazing, and this probably has the best cast of any of these movies. But to me, the second act of this movie is insanely boring, and the best action scene in the movie does not feature King Kong, and that still pisses me off. But it's a fine movie, you know. It doesn't offend me by any means. Coming in at number 4 is going to be Godzilla King of the Monsters. I loved this movie when I first saw it. Upon rewatches, it's gotten worse and worse and worse. The technical aspects are amazing, and I like Ken Watanabe, Charles Dance, and Kyle Chandler in this movie. Millie Bobby Brown is very fine in this movie, and the monster fights are awesome, especially the third act. This Before I saw this movie, I would say that King of the Monsters had the best third act of any of these movies. Probably. I really like the third act of this movie. Unfortunately, the pacing of this movie is atrocious. It's way too long, and it's possibly has one of the worst main characters to a movie I've ever seen in my life in The Mother. She unleashes a three-headed dragon on the world because she thought it was right.
Thanos.
And then they expect me to care when she dies at the end. No. Number three is
She
going
atoned for her
Number
actions.
3 is Godzilla versus Kong. I very much enjoy this movie. Characters could be better, but where it needs to deliver, it delivers. Very much
All right.
enjoyed that movie. And
Yo,
coming in,
can you hear me?
what? Yeah,
You hear static?
nope.
Okay, that was that.
Coming in at number two is Godzilla 2014. Yes, this was my number one before this movie came out. Um, I still very much enjoy this movie. To hear extensive thoughts, both mine and AJ's, on this movie, check out our originals versus remakes we did on Godzilla, where we talked about this movie and the original in detail. But I love the special effects in this movie. I think the cast is really good, and the tone of this movie is really cool. I like the stupid stuff that we're getting now, but for the time, I really like this tone that we got. Um, and Godzilla is awesome in this movie. He's really cool. And my number one is the new kid on the block, Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. Talked about it for an hour and change. I really, really love this movie, and I can't wait to see it again and see more from this universe.
So my ranking is going to be number six is going to be the 2014 Godzilla. Um, After rewatching this movie, I like it a little bit more, but there are some huge issues I have with it. Number one is the lighting in the movie. It's horrendous lighting in the movie. It's so dark. Um, I do like the technical aspects as far as different camera shots and things like that. Godzilla is awesome in that movie, but the pacing and the human characters are horrible. Minus Bryan Cranston. Next is number what five is going to be Monarch, the Legacy of Monsters series. It is part of the MonsterVerse, but it is kind of its own thing as well. I liked the way that the show was shot, but the show I feel like it needed less episodes, shorter run times for the episodes, and a stronger narrative. So number five. Wait, did I say five already?
No, you said
So
six.
six was Godzilla 2014. Five was Monarch. Four is Godzilla Kong Skull Island, not Godzilla. Kong Skull Island. Like I said, on this rewatch of Kong Skull Island, I liked it a lot more. The technical aspects are just stunning. It's just completely stunning. The characters, to be a character driven film, lacks character depth. So that's where it really falls short. Next is number three, Godzilla versus Kong. I enjoy this movie. It's fun, but I do have some issues with it, especially the Hollow Earth aspect. But number two is Godzilla King of the Monsters. This was my number one. I love, love, love this movie. Yes, the pacing could be a little bit better. Characters could be better. But I love the technical aspects. I love Godzilla in this movie. It's just a lot of fun for me. And then my number one is going to be Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire. It is my number one. So much fun. Loved it.
Wow. I didn't think anything was going to overtake King of the Monsters the way this guy
I know,
talks
right?
about
I know, right? I just had too
it.
much fun with this movie, man.
And there you have it. So moving on to the physical media updates. I only really have two things and then two Funko Pops. How much do you have?
Two things. Give me a second.
All right. Yeah, right. Oh, damn it. AJ, hurry up.
All right, I'm back.
All right. So The first thing I got was a video game. I don't really buy video games often, but I was at GameStop and I was curious, and I saw this game was on sale, and I was like, let me grab this because I've been wanting it for forever. And it had a free PS5 upgrade. That's why I got it for the PS4. Got Watch Dogs Legion. I've actually been interested in playing this game forever because it's always like really cheap and the concept sounds pretty cool. And this is actually the ultimate edition that it comes with the season pass and everything. So it's a steelbook too. So it's nice to have gaming steelbook. So this is the front, this is the back, and this is the inside of it. There's no disc because it's inside
Where's
my
the
PS4.
disc?
Um, a lot of people were like crapping on this game. I'm enjoying it so far. It's not high art or anything, but it's fun. I'm digging it. Um, yeah, Watch Dogs Legion. I paid. I don't even think I paid for this to be honest, because I think my brother had like a coupon or something.
You stole it?
Yeah, right. The
FBI
actual
open.
movie that I got for this week is the 4K of Child's Play 2019, the Scream Factory. No reversible artwork, of course. You know, Scream Factory can kick rocks. But yeah, I recently watched this with AJ. We watched this on Sunday night, and I had a really good time with it. I hadn't seen it since 2019. I think this is actually a really good remake. The kills are great. The practical effects are nuts. I think the acting and the characters are pretty cool. And what they do with this movie to change it from the original, I think works. What does not work is this freaking abomination thing. Ugh, terrible. But
At
yeah.
least it's kind of in the dark. It's not like
If
full
yeah,
on.
if this thing looked better, this movie would be like a 4.5 to me. I actually really enjoy it. And then I got a couple funkies, a couple Funko Pops. So the first one I got is Shoto Ayazawa from My Hero Academia. My brother bought one of those T-shirt boxes that it came with the pop, and the shirt was his size, not mine. So he was like, "You can have the pop if you want." It's a really neat pop. His scarf kind of goes around the pop. It's pretty cool. And this one I picked up on Monday. I wasn't gonna pick it up, but I was like, you know what? He's the king, man. You gotta have the king of pop. Of course, you got Michael Jackson Funko Pop, and it looks like it is from his Super Bowl performance. I could be wrong, but that's kind of what it looks like. Glad Alex is not here tonight. He would have reached to the screen and just to have this thing. They had two Funko Pops, but I was like, I kind of only need one. And do I even really need one? I don't know. Um, there's a couple pieces of physical media on the way. Two of them are what AJ is going to show. But yeah, it was a very, very light week for physical media.
So what I got was two of the Mondo Steelbooks, two of the four that dropped. I got the 2012 Avengers film. I love this Steelbook. It's awesome. And then the back, you got Iron Man. And then the second one I got was Guardians of the Galaxy. Take the slip off.
That's the one I'm really excited to get.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And I'm gonna say it every time. I'd love that Mondo actually put protectors on their slip covers. And when you get it, you take it and you unwrap it, and it's like so pristine. I loved it.
Hmm.
But yeah, those are two of the things that I picked up.
Nice. I'm excited to get those, and I got the Doctor Strange one also. Very excited for that.
Yes, sir.
So that's gonna do it for this episode of Nerd Talk. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We had a blast talking about this movie. And I can't wait to see it
Fun.
again. And as it stands, this is in my top 10 of the year, and
Mm.
it might stay there, bro. I might, it might stay there. Fast X was in my honorable mentions last year, so
So
who
I got a
knows?
question for you. Are you seeing the Omen, the first Omen?
Well, speaking of the Omen, um, tomorrow we will be dropping our originals versus remix for The Omen in preparation for the first Omen. I will try my best to see the first Omen. I had tickets to see it and then I canceled them because the tickets for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes dropped, and I wanted to use my A list for that because I'm not paying $25 for IMAX. Um, so maybe I'll end up seeing it sometime in the week, or maybe next week I'll go after school. We'll see. But I do want to see it. But yes, originals versus remix for The Omen will drop tomorrow morning.
Well,
So,
that's the plan.
oh,
That's the plan. So, but
we'll
if
see.
it doesn't come out tomorrow morning, it'll be out by the end of the weekend. It'll be here very soon.
And we will be taking a break next week. We've been going crazy the past couple weeks. We need a little breather. But the next week, we will be back for a live watch along for Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire, in preparation for Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scar Giver, which releases, I think, either that week or the next week. Um, I know a lot of people don't like Rebel Moon, but I love it, and I kind of wanted to do a watch along. And I know AJ doesn't hate that movie, so he didn't feel too bad doing a watch along for it. And we
Mhm.
might have special guests for that watch along actually, so I'm excited for that one.
All right.
But yeah, Rebel Moon, I'm excited to do a watch along for that. I love that movie. I saw it in the theater, 70 millimeter, and I saw it again on Netflix. I love it, so I'm very excited for that. But yeah, that is gonna do it for this episode of Nerd Talk. Um, Please follow our Instagram. The link is down below. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell for all notifications for future Nerd Talk live streams. Also follow our Instagrams, Mind of a Nerd and AJ Reacts to. I'm trying to get back into the string of posting reviews, but not really. It kind of depends on how much I like things. I posted a review for Godzilla X Kong. I posted a review for Late Night with the Devil. Go check that out. It's probably gonna end up being one of the most underrated movies of the year, and it's a shame. But that movie was immaculate, and I did not review Immaculate because that movie was not good. It was okay. Immaculate was okay, but yeah. Once again, we are Nerd Talk. Everyone have a great night. We will see you on the next one.